Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum salam.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I hope everybody is joined. We are waiting for a couple of more people to join.
Yeah,
And,
we'll wait for
Inshallah,
another 2 minutes.
inshallah.
11:10 we start.
Altaf, can you just prepare yourself?
Pardon me? I'll
I'll
share my
hold.
screen.
Yeah, you please. Yes, it is visible.
You're able to hear me correctly, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, able to hear you, bro. Alhamdulillah.
I was checking last 25th July 2020. I did the MM introduction.
Yes. Altaf, a little introduction about yourself so that participants can know you more
We
better.
can start then, I think.
I think let others also come. They also get
Yeah,
into.
just wait for some more time.
Barakallah.
Yeah. Until then, can you just introduce yourself, Altaf, please?
Yeah, I'm Altaf Patel. I have got experience of around 35 years. Now I'm not working. I've taken a retirement because I was working in Delhi and my family was in Bangalore. So I retired at the age of around 58. I worked in the manufacturing field in the initial period. PSI Data Systems and Digital Deck is the name of the company, and Alcatel. Then I worked in Mozabear for a long time. And during the Mozabear times, I worked with SAP. That was the starting time of SAP. I worked in a IT background also. I know all the data centers, the hardware, software, servers. Software is not in very detail. I didn't get an opportunity, but hardware, data centers, servers, manufacturing, computer manufacturing, networking, data center management, plus SAP as a total this thing. So now I'm retired and I'm taken up training as my profession, and I do SAP implementation. If anybody needs help, I do the coordination and activities like that. So that is my background.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair, Altaf.
MashaAllah, Subhanallah.
Thank you.
So, welcome everyone. We will not take any questions in between the session, but once the session is completed, once the talk is completed, we will take the all the questions. And if you have any questions, you can post it on the chat so that we can take it in the last. Okay. Other way we can start.
Yeah.
We have enough participants now.
Okay. Thanks, PMFIRD, and I think Sohail. Dr. Saif is not there. I think he's busy. It's always a pleasure to conduct a training, and sharing a knowledge is always a pleasure. So, cloud is the one thing which everybody talking nowadays, and I just wanted to give a brief introduction of the cloud and who are the service providers. Cloud is nothing but a business proposition, different business proposition. Because you're using the same hardware, same software, but only thing is the location has changed. Like for example, 10 years, 15 years back also, the business proposal was a different, but it was not called as a cloud. The oldest thing which I remember was the photocopier. In our offices, we used to buy photocopier machines from Xerox and other people. And we used to operate them, try to operate them, bring the toner, bring the people, one person to operate and all those things. Then the business proposal changed. The company didn't want to spend money on the toner, buying the paper, buying the everything. So what Xerox started is they started another business proposal. They said, we will give you the machine. Okay, we will keep it in your premises, and we will do the maintenance and all those things. You operate. So that was another business proposal, and the company, our company used to take printouts from that machine. That was then in-premise cloud version of the business proposal, which we are currently using. Then what happened was they said, okay, we don't want to spend money on the consumable. We don't want people to take printouts. So you give the total proposal. I will give the paper, we will give a printout or the photocopier, and you give me the total solution. So the Xerox people put manpower, they used to supply consumables, they used to repair the machines whenever the call goes. So the company used to pay by per copy of this thing. This is another business proposal which they introduced. Then recently you would have seen washing machines. Earlier we used to buy washing machine by paying 30,000, 40,000 rupees. Now some people cannot afford. So what they did was they started giving machines on the rental. So per month you give the rental charges. That was also not this thing. They started another business proposal called as in each market area, they used to put 10, 12 machines, and you take your clothes there, get it washed, dried, and bring it home. This is kind of the cloud version. That is what is applicable for computers also. Earlier, we used to buy big computers. We used to have data centers in our office. We used to have maintenance people, IT people, software people, upgradation people. We used to have data centers with air conditioning and all those things. So that this thing, the new proposal, business proposal says they, Amazon and some of these people, they will have big data centers. You use the facilities from there and pay in a monthly rental kind of a thing. This is what is a Romance cloud version. So let's go into the detail of what is cloud. This is the agenda for today's. Why cloud? Okay. Then cloud use cases. I will show you the companies who are using cloud very, and these are the major suppliers, the service providers of the things and their comparison. And we will talk about the career options in a cloud. Okay. So let's start with the cloud. Cloud is, okay, you have a local area network. In your office, you might be having PCs, routers, switches, then you have all the around 100 and 150 people connected through their PCs to a main server. There will be big data centers you operate in your office premises. Okay, this is the bare minimum with internet. Please understand that internet is not cloud. Internet is one of the facilities where you use the worldwide this thing to the for the information gathering. So, but cloud is a different version. You have an IP, and so this whole local area network not connected to the external world is the on-premise solution of your software, hardware, and people use all these facilities in the office. Okay, so the hardware installed in data center and internet connection for your own use and no access to the external world is called the on-prem solution. This is not disappearing. Just 1 second, I'll try to bring it down. Okay, this is the on-premise solution it is called, and the hardware is the total hardware is not accessed by the external world. Internet, you have a connection, and this is called as a on-premise solution. Okay. Then came the private cloud solution, the same local area network. You give an IP address and you put firewalls and you connect it to the external world, and the people from US or any city through this thing, wide area network, they will come and join you. They will use your facilities. They will use the softwares like SAP, Oracle, and other softwares, and they will use it for their purpose. This is called as a private cloud. The main difference is the private cloud is operated in your data center. It is not in the outside the premises or outside the world. It's an on-premise solution, but the connectivity, I can go to US and operate my software, which is in, like, for example, I'm in Bangalore. I have a private cloud solution. I host some of the applications and I give access to the whole world. This is called a private cloud solution. Then coming to the third one is the public cloud. Public cloud solution is the whole data center or the computers, the hardware, the servers, all are sitting in a remote location. Can be US, can be Germany, okay, can be Japan, anywhere. And I am sitting at Bangalore. I can access that application software or the hardware. Okay, all those different patterns of whether I use a software, it's called as a SAS, software as a solution. I use the infrastructure, I use the memory, I use the drive capacity, I use it's called as the infrastructure as a solution. So that we will explain it later. So the private and the public, the difference is the private is the hardware, the servers are hosted in your on-premise solution, and in the public, the hardware could be anywhere. Only what matters is you will have everything. This is the hybrid solution. I don't know how to disconnect this one, but anyway, the hybrid solution is the mix of both on-premise as well as the uh, hybrid solution is a mixture of both private and a public cloud. 50% of my is a private cloud, which is hosted in our my local center data center, and the rest 50% is on the uh, public cloud, can be hosted anywhere. This is very important. You should understand why it is a private, why it is a public, and why it is a hybrid solution. Okay, yes. Okay, these are the some of the terminologies which you will come to know, and it's better you understand. A local area network is the on-premise solution I hosted in my data center. I have all the servers and everything. I have switches, um, I have routers, I have a firewall, and some of the local softwares we host it in this one. Then we have called another called as a DMZ. DMZ is a demilitarized zone, which holds the email servers, FTP server, web servers, and some of these servers which which are used by the wide area network as well as the outside public. And the data comes from the outside public. Like for example, mail server, you get mail from everywhere. FTP server is the FTP protocol server, which is a file transfer server. You want to transfer big files, you use this server. So basically, you want to transfer data to your clients and your customers, you use this facility. Web server, everybody knows. So all these things which are accessed by most of the time by the external world, we put it in the demilitarization zone with firewall so that nobody access without the authorization can access this server, and they cannot hack or do malicious intentions on our database. Wide area network is an insecure internet, which is the total. You have YouTube, you have rest of the things hosted on a wide area network, and you can access those things. So these are the three different areas which you will architecture point of view. Local area network, DMZ, which is the very secured this thing. Only authorized person can enter our network, and wide area network is the total thing. Now, in this, it is very important that when you are in a local network and a local area network, if you connect your mobile device and you have an access to the external world from your mobile device onto your data center, that will open up the ports of the through mobile device, and any hacker can access this data. So it's very important that you should not connect unauthorized or any app which is very dangerous to the local network with the mobile access. So you should be very careful while this thing. All the data should go through the firewalls. Otherwise, the hackers can easily access the data. So I hope everybody is clear about what is private cloud, then public cloud, and the hybrid cloud. If any questions are there, I will take up this later. So coming to the question of why, have you heard about Black Friday or Cyber Monday crashes? Black Friday is when on the day of the Bahubali movie launch, all the ticket sites crashed. Okay, because everybody tried to access the server and the ticketing, they tried to book, and that is what is the release of Friday. Most of the movies and some of the major activities happening on Friday, they crash the system. On IPO opening day, initial public offer of shares, Karvy sites get crashed. Some of the sites which are related to the IPO get crashed because a lot of people access on that same day. The other days there will be no activities that on. When the Bitcoin crashed, the Chicago Board Options Exchange, when the Bitcoin trading started, the Chicago Board CBOE got crashed because a lot of people tried to buy Bitcoins. The another case is the CoWIN server of India for a COVID-19 vaccination crashed on the day of the launch because thousands of Indians rushed to register for the COVID-19 situation. So you cannot build hardware for the special occasions like this. If you want to buy any hardware, it costs you 50,000 to crores of rupees to set up the whole system. But you cannot expect the full load capacity on that one and crashes. For example, on the Wall Street, our day-to-day activities reached from 300 to 3,000 CPUs for one firm's activity. Okay, that happens between Monday to Friday. On Saturday, Sunday, there will be no usage at all. So for almost 48 hours, there is no use of the computers at all. But on weekdays, we need so much of capacity. Another example is a video app on Amazon, the movie release, new movie release, the servers crash because everybody tries to see that on that, the movie launch on Amazon on the EZ2. So to counter these heavy requirements of servers, they have come up with a cloud version of this thing where they will set up data centers with huge computer capacity available, and they will provide you services. So this is the new business proposal. So the new business proposal says is if you want, you started with your 500 GB or 1 terabyte of hard disk space, and you had 5, 6, 8 or 10 CPUs, servers. Then on the day of some movie launch or some special cases, you need the capacity of 25 servers, 25 CPUs, and you want 100 terabyte of data or 90 terabyte of data. If on an on-price solution, you won't be able to achieve that much of thing within a short notice period of time. So Amazon and some of these people have set up big data centers where they will provide you for on a daily basis or on a monthly basis, or even nowadays they are still talking about half a day from morning 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock in the afternoon. They will give you all the resources, and you pay in the evening, you might take it back. So the hourly basis charges is possible. So the advantages of going for a cloud version of the hardware or a service is your resource pooling. What will happen is when you set up a data center, you need, for each activity, you need engineers. For networking, you need an engineer. For software upgradation or software installation and the OS operating system installation, their upgradation, maintenance, the backup servers, then the data center management like air conditioning, you need a lot of resources. So if you go to a cloud version, he will use the resource pooling and he will provide you good resources for a lower prices so that he can use that resource to other customers. The second, on-demand self-service. This facility is the hardware is available, software is available whenever you want. You want a Monday to Friday, you want your office people to work, so you do the transactions on Monday to Friday. Even up to Monday also, you can do it between morning session, I do the transaction, or the afternoon session, you'll do the transaction. You can tell them on demand. Whenever you want, the service is available. Saturday, Sunday, you don't want, you don't pay. Easy maintenance, large network access. You can, today you would have started AI, artificial intelligence, you want Python language, or Oracle database you want. So you have access to all the softwares available with them. Availability, this is available 24/7, 365 days. The downtime and all is not required. If you have a on-premise solution, if the power goes or due to some maintenance, you have to go for a shutdown. But these data centers are very highly competitive data centers. They will do everything on the fly. So measured services, as I said, it is on demand. So it is measured pay by use and pay to pay as you go. Security is one of the concerns because the data is not available in the on the premises, but nowadays they have a lot of standards for security. So they take permissions, they do the firewalls and all those things, and security is not a concern nowadays. Your data is safe. If you want to take it back, you can take it back without any this thing, and they will have sign up the agreement so that they don't keep the data with them. They will give you all the data back without any problem. It's more economical, and it's a automatic system. Okay, so more definitions of cloud. Some of the things, as again the thing is, it's a consumption and delivery based model, business model, which is the new one. The cloud addresses the cost reduction. For example, if you see, I did an SAP implementation. The hardware cost was 2 crores. The software licenses of SAP costed us 2 crores, and the implementation costed us 2 crores. So I spent 6 crores for the total implementation. The same thing in the cloud version. If I go, SAP gives me the licenses at around, for example, 1 crore, and I use the pay by this thing. I don't have to buy the licenses also. I can negotiate the prices so that I use 50 license today, tomorrow I use 100 licenses. Those kind of facilities are available. Instead of 6 crores spending at one time, I use pay by monthly, which could be around 1 lakh to 2 lakh per day or per month, depending on the negotiation you do with the thing. So you can see from 6 crores to I came into the lakhs for this thing, and I don't have to invest in the first time. I use and pay. So the cost reduction is very good. Scalability is today I start with 1 terabyte of data. Tomorrow I want 50 terabyte of data. Day after tomorrow I want 5 terabyte of data. I can do. Scalability is possible. Utilization, that holds for memory, that holds for number of servers, that holds of good for everything. Utilization is as required, you use it. Self-service is some of the backup and all those things. You don't have to do software updation, you don't have to do all these things, will be taken by because a service provider. IT agility, flexibility, and delivery of value, all the things, same things explained in a different one. So the cloud, the hardware comes in different platforms, different one. You can take infrastructure. If you have software capacity or a software expert, you can take only infrastructure like hardware, servers, number of CPUs. You can increase memory. You can increase hard disk drive capacity. You can do. So the infrastructure, if you take, it is provided as a IaaS. It is called as infrastructure as a service provider. Platform is if you want to use the artificial intelligence, you need a Python, or there are some lot software. So if you want to use that, then it is called as a platform. Okay, and you can both infrastructure and a platform will provide you the softwares to develop the applications. They have gone into more into applications also. Some people provide, for example, Zomato, then Ola. These all applications are provided by on the cloud, and you can run those applications from there. So application as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. So these are the again same thing. What is private cloud? What is hybrid cloud and public cloud? As I explained earlier, private cloud is the on-premise solution, and public cloud is the hardware and data center is in a different place altogether, and you can access that. Hybrid is a mix of this one. The one disadvantage the public is you cannot do customization much on this thing. Like for example, I have a purchase to pay cycle according to my requirement. I cannot, because public cloud is used by other people also. So the business process will be defined by the most of they will try to include most of the processes, but still there could be some facilities we may not be able to decide. But in a private cloud, I can do the thing. That is what is explained here. Customer infrastructure is a customer responsibility. More customized of security controls, good visibility of into day-to-day operations, easy to access of logs and policies. Okay, so all these things will not be provided in a public cloud because it is used by more of the public. So provider responsibility of infrastructure, less customization of security controls, no visibility of day to day. They will give visibility means you cannot see exactly what is the data growth, all those things. So you will be only operating. So that mean data may not be available. Difficult to access logs and policies because you need to request them to the service provider to give you the logs and policies. They can fix up a time every day at night 12 o'clock. They will provide the previous day's logs. But if I want to access on a day-to-day basis, I will not be able to do. So there are some advantages and disadvantages in a private and a public cloud. This is the SAP's providing of the software as a service, which is called SAS they call it, platform as a service and infrastructure as a service. So as I told you in the example, if I buy like hardware, it will cost me 2 crores. The software licenses cost 2 crores and implementation. So when I host in a on-premise solution, I will do the first one. Like I buy the application, data, runtime, middleware, database, virtualization, my hardware, server, storage. This is all hardware portion, infrastructure. This is all the platform, operating system, database. I need SAP or an Oracle or a IBM ka DB2. So middleware, I need a runtime. In the SAP application and data are the software as a provider. If I manage this, it will be on my own. This cost me 6 crores. You can make it as a hybrid cloud. Some of the top portion will be managed by a customer. The bottom portion infrastructure you can outsource it to the SAP. These two are hybrid option, and in the public cloud, everything is managed by SAP. Okay, and here I pay the SAP by a monthly basis or daily basis, and the agreement can be done. So the investment point of view, the customer manages 6 crore, and here it could be 1 lakh to 10 lakh, depending on you take the license on a monthly basis or daily basis, and you use it. You can even define I will do the transaction in the morning time, and morning from 10 to 2 o'clock. All those facilities are given. I will come to that slide. Here I am just showing you the L&T Larsen and Turbo. They have they have hosted some of this in a private cloud and a public cloud. If you see security and compliance, they have put it in a private because they will have more control, and they buy Trend Microsoftware, Forcepoint and all. They will host this in their private cloud, and they will monitor security. Anybody hacking the system, the day-to-day maintenance of the security compliance and all those things, they will host it on a private cloud. End user computing also they are hosted on a private cloud, this thing for a more clarity. And the rest of the things, if you see enterprise application software, SAP, AWS, Oracle, the databases, and the multi-cloud governance. This is the multi-cloud governance software, which is they have put something in the private and something in the cloud. End user computing, AWS and the Microsoft, this thing, they have put it in this thing. Service management, like for example, attending calls and day-to-day activities of this thing. Email and collaboration is also on the cloud. And infra monitoring, they want control over the system, so they put it in these are all local software developed by the private, so this is put in a private cloud. So if you see, people go for mixed private hybrid cloud, or for some security reasons or these things, they want day-to-day control, they will put it in private. Otherwise, the rest of the activities, they will put it in the public cloud. By doing this, you will save on money, manpower, and more control over the systems. So again, same this thing, little bit of what are the different, as I told you, the hardware point of view, it's networking, storage, servers, virtualization. This is your IaaS infrastructure you need. These are the different classifications which are available. Then you had platform as a service is the operating system, middleware softwares, and runtime softwares. Then you have the applications, which are the data applications and the actual data platform, SAS, PaaS, and IaaS. These are the different solutions that are available. You will keep hearing these words. You should know what is a infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. To give you more clarity, I will go to the some of the use cases. For example, this is a layman's term of saying, like I explained about the washing machine and the photocopier. If you take a pizza as service, these are the options. These are the things you need. You need cheese, toppings, tomato sauce, pizza. This is the consumable. Then you need an oven and a fire. Then electric, gas, drinks, and these are classified as a dining table and drinks. This is the infrastructure as a service. If you see, these are the dining table you need. These all blue portions are infrastructure, and this is made at home, take and bake. He is providing you the electricity, oven, and all. You take the pizza dough, tomato sauce, and these things, take and bake. Pizza delivery, okay, Pizza Hut, and these things. All these things he will have. He will provide you will have a dining table and drinks, and you Pizza Hut delivery. Dining out is the hotels which are available. This is, I want to have pizza. That is what the full stop. I am not investing on any of the things. So you go to Pizza Hut, or you take. So IAS, PAS, and SAS are the different thing. So coming to the Google Cloud advertises, if you take cloud solution, if you take a cloud solution, if you take a cloud as a solution, these are for the data center activities. You might think it is a simple activity, but it is not. It is a data center. All the cost savings will happen on real estate cost. You need to hire a building, you take around building on a rent, or you buy a building, then you develop a data center. Real estate cost, depending on the Delhi, Bangalore, other places, the real estate costs are very high. So you can save on the real estate cost. Physical security cost. You need to put guards, you need to security systems like cameras and other things. All the physical security costs will be saved. High rated power cost, depending on the power consumption, the rates also increase, and you need to put generators, you need to take a power backup solutions. All that can be saved. So fire detection system and preventing system, DC cooling systems, air conditioning cost, maintenance and support, DC labor cost, direct labor cost, which is technical staff and all those things. Because data center nowadays got a lot of standards to be implemented, like fire safety, ISO standards, all those standards. There are different standards available. By the time you get to the standard level of the data center, you will spend a lot of money. This money can be saved by going to a cloud version of these things. Then coming to the hardware, you have a rack cost, you have server, RAM and CPU. These are very costly things. The more CPU you have, the more value, the costlier it will be. RAM, local RAM, storage costs. These are also, you go nowadays, storage is, we are talking about terabytes. And so 100 terabyte, 200 terabyte of, because we are collecting a lot of data related to the customer and all those things. So you need a lot of, and I showed you in the previous slides how the RAM and the CPU consumption increases during the Black Fridays, all those things. So backup and archiving is a huge cost saving, because whenever you take a backup, the old softwares and all those things, we used to physical take shutdowns. We used to ask users not to use on Saturday, Sundays and all those things. But nowadays they have a lot of softwares which are very expensive softwares. They do it in backup in restore in less than 30 minutes. So those kind of softwares are very costly to buy. If you give it to a cloud version service provider, he will provide you all those facilities at a pay by use casing. Network equipment, cross connect, cabling, maintenance and support, IT labor costs. IT labor cost, the more problem is in the IT labor is the resignation. People learn and they leave the organization. In when you give it to the subcontractor like a service providers, that that point will be taken care by the service provider. So infrastructure license cost, these are also, there will be a lot of savings in the virtualization cost, networking cost, uh, the capex, the depreciation cost, all those things can be saved by doing a one-time investment. It is very important how you control your capex and opex. Capex is the capital expenditure, opex is the operating expenditure. See, if you do it in the on-premises, your capex will be very high, and when you do it on the cloud, your opex will be not very high, but as per the usage. Extra benefits with the Google Cloud platform, if you go, this is a very important point. Downtime free hardware maintenance. They will not take any maintenance. Usually, when you do it in the on premises, you need to AC repairs happen, so you take a shutdown, or the hardware failures, you take shutdowns. Um, Whenever you take shutdown, minimum 8 to 10 hours is gone. So that hardware, they will claim okay, within 30 minutes they will bring up, or they will clone the system and they will bring they will give you zero downtime free. So custom VM is the VMware virtual machines, that savings they will give you. So the last important point is the carbon neutral cloud. All the data centers will be carbon this today nowadays the EHS and carbon this thing emission is very important. So all the data centers are very um, standardized ones. So these are very effective things. So these are the core of this thing. So this is the bookish definition of a what is cloud computing and how do we do. For example, you as a user, I need to access my applications, my hardware, my software. I am not bothered where I sit, where I sit. On-premise solution will always have a disadvantage. If I go out of country, I will not be able to this one. So what is cloud computing? Cloud computing is a delivery on-demand computing services from application to the storage and processing power, typically over the internet and pay as you go basis. So how does it work? I've already explained to you. So coming to the some use cases, these are the top 18 unicorns of India, like Snapdeal, Ola, Quicker, ShopClues, Renew, Byju's. Okay, this all covers from hospitality to taxi provider or education system. All these people use softwares, hardware, everything from cloud. I think none of these people have spent money on the on-premise solution. Okay, so like for example, take the example of this Paytm. Paytm uses all these softwares, AMP React, Node.js, Lua, Google Tag. All these are um, either platform as a service, and total platform as a service means it is a total Paytm package. The software is developed by these people or by the third parties, and they host it in the Google or AWS data centers. And these are all free and openware softwares. They use this, and so the IT infrastructure is very less in this one. The same case is with the Udaan, jQuery, Facebook, card functionality, Adobe, Google Workspace, Google Tag Manager. See, these are all freeware or openware software, and they host it in the cloud platform. And I think this is Snapdeal. Snapdeal is also uses a lot of softwares like this. Byju, biggest education softwares, they use jQuery, MySQL. MySQL is from Microsoft, and Google Workspace, Crazy Egg. All these things are hosted on a hardware on a cloud, openware, freeware softwares. They buy licensed softwares also, but not very much. Small IT team for maintenance. Okay, these are some of the use cases which are we'll talk about. These are the top 10 cloud service providers. Amazon is on the top, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud. Alibaba also provides cloud platform of hardware as software. IBM, Oracle, Salesforce, SAP, Rackspace, and VMware. Okay, you can go with any one of these. These are the things for that. This is Google Cloud. I think this is one of this is Alibaba, and this one. Their market share, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and Alibaba are in the top list. Amazon dominates this thing. Next is with 39%. Azure with 19%. Google Cloud 9%. Then Salesforce and IBM Cloud. Total business worldwide is around 20 billion, which is a very high. These are the top three comparisons between AWS and Google Cloud, Azure and Google Cloud. The company name, the launch year 2006, AWS was launched. Azure was launched in 2010, and Google. Geographical locations, they cover 24, 5, 54, and 21. They are almost in America, then Asia, then Europe. So they have all data centers at all the places. Whichever is near to you, they will provide you the facility. Availability zones, almost Azure see they covered 140 countries. The key offerings, this is important. They compute, storage, database, analytic, networking. Most of the things you can talk about the things, IoT, they have softwares on IoT, blockchain, everything is available. You need not, if you want to do everything, anything on AI, you need to just call them AI platform as a solution. They will provide you, and it covers both as infrastructure as well as everything, and you need to pay by ASIS. Compute storage, mobile data, that is provided by everything, almost the same thing. The more important is the compliances was also important. As you know, security is very important. So they will provide you, name the compliance, ISO or any other security compliances, all those things they will take permission. Total revenue also, if you see, Azure is also 35, is on a higher side. So the another chart of this thing, they will. The one thing which is very important here is the pricing. If you see, it says here it is a AWS provides by per hour, okay, Azure by per minute, and Google Cloud also per minute. If I remember 5 years back, we were talking about monthly payment. Then what happened was monthly payment was not enough. They said, "Okay, I have 5 days working, weekdays working, 2 days as a holiday. I won't pay for Saturday, Sunday." Then they removed, made it as a day wise. Then they came out saying, "My all transaction in SAP I do in morning only, or morning first session, or evening second session. So I will pay you by hourly." That was also there. Now I see per minute is also allowed. So, and you will come to the AWS now. AWS has got almost this thing in every they are in database, they are in analytics, they are in integration, they are in management, compute, storage. All these things are provided in this thing. You don't have to buy hardware, you don't have to buy software professionals. Everything can be done. For example, this database, you can they have only there are apart from Oracle, SAP, some are the specific, otherwise they will give you databases on rent. Analytics is the major thing. If you want to do analytics of your data, then you need all these softwares. Integration with SQS, Amazon. Networking, this is all hardware portion, how you connect to the servers and all. Storage is also there, and computing is also there. Some of the AWS definitions are there. These are all not directly, they are called EC2. EC2 is nothing but the Elastic Compute Cloud. This is the technical term which is used, that allows user to rental virtual computers on which to run their computer application. This is an IaaS. Okay. And AWS Lambda is for the Amazon Web Services event-driven serverless computing. This is a new terminology which is there. Serverless computing. You don't have to buy servers or anything. You just go and do your final application development and all those things on that. To manage your all infrastructure, if your all those things, you need a CloudWatch component in this thing to manage. See, customer on Amazon infrastructure. By sitting on a computer, you will know what is my memory usage, what is my hardware drive usage, what is the how many people are logged in, how many people are all that you do through CloudWatch. This is another thing which is the AWS relational database services, like for example SAP data, HANA, or Oracle database. They have a database which is their only Amazon relational database that you can take on rent. This is the hardware center, data center managed by this thing. You can see how many servers are there, how many boxes are there, and they manage virtual machines. So each box can have around 20 to 30 or 100 small servers configured. There are big data centers, and to control the heat requirement and all these things, some of the servers are placed under sea with a sealed container. Google does that. So these are the different services GCP provides, Google Cloud Platform Provider, compute services, networking, management tools, cloud AI, big data. Big data was missing in AWS, but they were there. IoT and security identity management. These are the products of in compute. You can application engine, you can hire cloud storage. These are the provide this thing. Big data, IoT, machine learning. These are the things which are products which are available. And this all data is available on net. Individually, if you want to see, it's a big requirement, big 2-3 days. You need to go to understand all those things. So GCP talks about the advantages if you buy. What is the thing? So as I told you, backup and cloning and all these requires. If you do it on premises, you need to have specialized people, specialized this thing, and you need to take a downtime of zero downtime for the backup and all. If I remember my previous company, yeah, I used to do on Saturday, Sunday holiday plus Monday. If some holiday is there, we used to do 2 to 3 days backup and restore and maintenance or software upgradation. Here, these people claim that they will do it in a zero downtime. This is the cloning process. Live migration keeps virtual machines instances running through the planned cost. Live migration is important, because every SAP and some of these softwares, you need to copy the data. I have copied the data on 6 months back. I cannot use it for testing. So I need to keep my quality and development servers with the right data. So I need to live migration. I need to data copy. So for that, we need to take shutdowns. Now they claim that they will do live migration on the fly. You don't have to take a shutdown at all. So this is a huge advantage for the companies, because these are the cloning is another thing. You can, if you want to use the maintenance of your this thing, you clone the system and provide it to the users so that there will be no break in the service, and you can do the maintenance on the main server. So, and you can switch whenever you want. So the cloning process, they claim they will do it within 30 minutes with a single click, because all the softwares, everything is written. So by a single click, all the process, batch jobs, logs, everything will be created and that will be used. So whenever you buy a new software, you need to deploy it. While deploying, nowadays you need, earlier days you used to have format the drive, then you connect all your hardware, software, then you load your software, then latest patches used to load, then you do it. But nowadays they deploy it as a code. Okay, that all activity will be written in a system, and that will be, it will take care of the whole upgradation, everything together, and they claim they will do it in 30 minutes. So all the lot of hardware activities they have reduced. HANA backup and restore workflows, single step HANA backup, offsite long-term retention. Okay, 40 to 60% HANA backup restore time reduction is there, cost saving with the storage tiering. These are all the advantages if you go through cloud version. The Azure, same way, they provide a lot of services. This is from Microsoft. Infrastructure as a service, they will do platform as a service. These are the products of Azure. As I told you, the cloning and the migration of services, VMware also does. And these are the top 10 migration tools and services available from AWS. It's very important from your on-premise solution to the cloud if you want to go, or from cloud to you want to convert on-premises. And all these people, VMware, Amazon, they claim they will do it in a very short time. Coming to the Azure cloud services, again, you have infrastructure. These are the softwares available. Databases, you see SQL is there, Hadoop is there. All those databases, they will provide on a rental. Application softwares, Java, PHP, Python. You don't have to buy, for your AI activities, you don't have to buy Python. You can take it on a rental basis. So these are the management clients. The one, this thing is in Azure is the backup as a service. And you see a lot of backup softwares. They have purchased the companies which are BitPay and all those things. These companies, they have merged with Microsoft, and that softwares they will use. Coming to the career options in cloud. So this is the path where you can go. You can be a BE or an engineer or any science graduate with a passion for computer can start this as a career. To start with, after your graduation and everything, you should be proficient in one of the operating systems like Windows, Linux, and how the services operate. This is very important. Windows, Linux, or Unix, you need to understand. You take a certification courses on that. Understand and get a hands-on and the experience with programming languages to develop the cloud-based application that meet the business requirement. So the programming languages are either SQL. SQL is very important because you have SQL as a code and as well as a database, your performance tuning, database, all those things. Python.net. And you should know a little bit of networking, how the virtual networks work, LAN works, WAN works. And most of this data is available on the net. And if you read some of the books, you will be able to this thing, or attend some of our courses like that. You can understand all the things is there. Then you master the cloud platform. This also, lot of cloud providers, they will give you certification and get a hands-on, try to get into some company or somewhere where you work on this platform. Then you will become a cloud architect. So this is another very important tips to jumpstart your cloud stack. Get a computer science degree, additional training related to the cloud computing, get certifications, get hands-on, build your portfolio, and gather good references and network with the people and try to get there. Skill required, the same thing repeated a little bit, but nowadays the new jargon is the DevOps. This is nothing but development and operations, and DevOps security is also there. So earlier, people used to development used to done by some people, operations will be done by some people, security will be done by them. Nowadays, softwares are available where you can all the three features can be tested before for DevOps security before a application is released. These are the different levels of certifications available: associate level, professional level, and all these certification you can do, and they don't charge much for this, and you can do this. This is the definition of what cloud architecture does, because you need to, from on premises, you need to shift it to cloud. So you need to know how the basic design and all those things cloud software engineer does. Okay, I'm running out of time, so let's try to. So this is for the GCP. Like AWS, they also have foundational, associate, professional, and Looker certificates. These are the certifications which are available in the Google Cloud. I think any one of these, if you do, whether you do from Google or AWS, if your fundamentals are clear, most of the things are repeated and terminologies are there. These are the different things for this thing. Cloud architecture, kind of a salary. It's not important. Cloud architecture is the main, this thing if you have, then it's, this is the growth structure: cloud administration, consultant, software, and you become a cloud architecture. There are good YouTubes available. You can just go through those links, and they have explained very beautifully how the things are there. So this is another simple learn which gives you training on the. This guy gives for both AWS and Azure as well as Google Cloud. And I think if it is starting from 30,000 to 60,000 rupees. So if you see in the Naukri.com, if you see cloud architecture, 10,000 jobs posted, 5,000 in LinkedIn. This is one good, this thing, Glassdoor. If you see cloud architecture, a lot of openings are there. And this is important. The ratings highlights compensation, culture value, career, all are rated above 3.1 is a good this thing. So, okay, that's the thing for my side. I'm open to questions now.
Hi, my name is Nasir.
Yeah, walaikum salam.
Altaf, I would like to have an idea. I would like to first give you an idea about my existing career path, and then I would like to take your suggestion on moving on to cloud architecture.
Yeah.
I started my career with technical support. I have total of 13 years of experience.
Technical support hardware or software?
No, internal technical support, basically calling profile. That was my first job in Genpact.
Oh, you worked in Genpact?
Yes, that was my first job 13 years back. Then I moved on to Deloitte. And from Deloitte to another company on technical support only. So while I was working as a technical support engineer, I got an option to work on servers as well. So Windows Server support. I mean, building the servers, physical servers from scratch, and managing them over the remote consoles. Later on, I moved on to VMware from there. So I am currently a VMware admin now, and I would like to get into cloud. So I have proficiency in Windows operating system. So sorry,
certifications, Microsoft.
I did. Yes, MCSA and VCP 6.5.
Okay.
So my question is, I don't have experience in DevOps. I don't have knowledge on programming. I don't have hands-on experience in core Linux.
Okay, I have
Uh,
understood your thing. Let me
yeah.
ask you 3, 4 questions.
Yes.
Have you done anything on the database?
I mean, nothing from the
SQL
SQL
database.
side. No, I didn't work on
Do you know
SQL.
SQL language?
No.
No. But did you do anything on the um, uh, anything on the Linux and Unix?
Yes, Linux, we usually troubleshoot Linux operating systems when migrating the virtual machine from one cluster to another cluster, like changing the IP, changing the VLAN,
Yeah. Then
those kind of things.
why you didn't do a full-time course on Linux or Unix? See,
Yeah,
important,
yeah,
my previous
yeah.
slide, I told you clearly, and luckily, the slide which I have done here is matching with your this thing. You should
Okay,
have the first is you should be expert in SQL and Linux. Okay, 2
okay,
languages which I recommend you. Okay, these 2 languages you should know thoroughly very well. And one added advantage is if you're doing SQL, you should know SQL database and their performance tuning and everything. Okay, major activity happens on database. Okay, your OS is only 25%, but the database is the 75%. And if you are an expert in a database, and the rest all will things will fall in place. The first thing I recommended you is SQL with database, Linux. Okay, then you know a
mhm.
little bit about virtual networking, LAN, WAN. I think
Yes,
you can
yes,
understand.
yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
and you do one certification course for the just namesake for the architecture of cloud service provider architecture, anyone, Microsoft or anything. So if you do these 3 things perfectly, and if you become expert in that, then you are in a cloud.
Okay.
You have understood.
So
You have very
Azure 103.
no. I will not recommend Azure. I will either recommend you to go to Amazon or Google platform.
Okay.
Because you know already, you can tell that I know Azure very well. Okay,
Okay.
because you have worked so many times in Microsoft, you
Yes.
assume that you know everything on Azure. So learn something different, no?
Okay.
Amazon or Google Cloud. If you learn one of these things, you can master on the rest of the 3. But
So,
if you get an opportunity to
whichever
work
cloud,
on one, either you will work on Amazon or at Google Cloud. These people will not mix it. Okay.
okay, whether if I have decided to get on cloud, irrespective of whether it is AWS, Azure, Google, you want me to learn SQL,
Then
Linux, and the basic
SQL with
cloud
database, with
architecture.
DB.
Okay, SQL with database.
Yeah, very important performance tuning and all you need to do. Okay, SQL with DB, Linux, and one
Any
architecture
basic cloud.
course. Yeah,
Okay. So if I'm going for AWS, which one can I select? Paper, any number?
general architecture. You select one of these things which are the. You go through my slides again. You will come to
Okay,
know
okay,
one of the things
okay,
you can do.
okay. So if so there is no other thing to block my progress,
No,
right?
no. Don't spend time now. Learn these
Okay,
things perfectly, uh, and you can say I know Azure very well because you read some of the things. You
yeah.
learn Amazon or Google, then you will become expert. Then you can say I know all the 3. But you will get only to work on one platform, either Microsoft
Yes.
or Amazon or
Okay.
Google, and you be perfect there.
Okay. SQL with DB is
First, you
Microsoft
learn
SQL.
SQL. Obviously, you will next go to database architecture and RDBMS, how to perform and do tuning, blocks removing. All those day-to-day activities are very important. and any
Okay.
server backup, server downtime and all for backup and all that happen in DB only. So you need to know.
Okay. So this is for architecture, right? So what about admin? If I want to be a cloud admin, still you want me to do this?
Yeah, but admin, you will, as you grow in that database, no, you will learn first
Okay.
day-to-day activities, administration, all those things comes under that only.
Okay.
Okay. Because every day admin activities is log clearing, memory clearing, all those activities I think you might be doing already. Yeah.
Okay.
Database, if you're managing day to day, you come
Okay.
and check the logs, you clear the buffers, you clear the log files. Okay.
Mhm.
While taking a backup, you incremental backup, then you do the whole backup. All that they will teach you everything, when you do the database activity.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So these things are the basic primary requirement for any cloud engineer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Irrespective of which cloud platform we are opting.
If you become more expert in one, you will understand the rest there.
Okay. Okay.
They are all different names, old wine in same bottle, one new bottle, whatever it is.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
So, and
Thank you very much.
most of these, if you operate in a data center, you will know, okay, all these things they are talking is all same what you do daily. Only thing
Okay.
is, as a user, it is a cloud or it is
Mhm.
on premises. That's all. No.
Yes. Yes.
But the
Correct.
hardware
Same
is.
like virtualization platform.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If
Yeah.
anything,
Thank you very
you
much.
can call me, and otherwise we'll. Next question.
Yeah, this is Arfin Altawi. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
As you said, the database is very it should be much experience on moving to the cloud. I have experience in database, Oracle Oracle SQL, PL SQL, but
Okay.
still I am confusing how to move these things to the cloud because all my
What
10
are you
years
currently
careers.
working on? What is your experience, total experience?
Total experience is around 10 years in
You
programming,
worked in
database programming.
only Oracle work database.
Yes, only Oracle database, SQL,
Which
PL,
company you're
SQL.
working?
Right now, I am in Curo Global. Before I was in Oracle
These are
Financial.
software development people, or what is the company do?
That's a software development.
Software development. So you have a lot of VMs, and they have Oracle database. They have Oracle ERP also, or Oracle.
No, Oracle ERP is there, that EBS suits.
Okay, fair enough. See, Oracle is going out of this thing. You should upgrade yourself. And if you're seeing my slide, coming to you leave the Oracle. You should know Oracle database, RDBM software, blogs,
Correct.
everything you should know. And if you know
Yeah.
all that, spend some time on SQL database. Okay, and you should learn either one of these Unix, and you like the other gentleman, he had worked on hardware also, operating system. You need to learn something on the operating, and you take certification on Linux or Unix operating system.
Okay.
You should know. Follow this slide, which is the first. A little bit on the second one. Okay, you need to cover the first one, third one, and the fourth one. The round person, you have already SQL database, you already know something here.
Correct.
First, you need to understand what is the operating system, how the hardware, VM machines, configuration, memory, drive capacity, how to increase all those hot swap, all those things. Then you need a little bit of learning Unix and either Linux or Unix. One of these.
Okay.
Then you networking also, you spend some time, 15 days, you'll become expert on LAN WAN. Then you take one certification on a cloud architect.
As I heard that cloud practitioner is the one more basic certificate certification, cloud practitioner for going into that cloud. Is it correct? cloud
Practitioner is a
practitioner.
better idea. You will take architecture cloud. It will cover you everything of the some of the things which are there in the all the certifications.
Architecture cloud.
Yeah.
But without that practitioner cloud, we cannot move. We
No,
cannot
no,
take that.
no, no.
Is
Who
it
said
like?
that? Who said that?
Oh,
Nothing. Not
uh,
required. You go directly to the cloud architecture course, and they will teach you what is you need is to understand better. You need one of the languages: Linux, Unix, SQL, and hardware how works. It works.
okay.
Okay.
So for me, as a SQL developer, so I have to learn that operating system, either Linux or Unix, and then some more in networking also, right?
Yeah, networking also. I think you would have already known networking, no? How plan works,
And not
how
much on that, because totally I was in programming side, in programming language, not much on networking. But I, as
years
per
of
just
internet searching, you will become expert. Don't worry. Yeah.
uh, so is it required to certificate also
Yes,
for
yes.
that?
You will need to, basics will be clear. Otherwise, you will not be able to do the certification of architecture. They will ask you basic questions on networking. What is LAN, WAN? What is firewall? How do you configure a firewall? What is DC? All those things they will ask you. No.
Okay.
Spend some time on a net on the internet networking. You will become expert. It's not too much.
Okay.
Okay.
Jazakallah khair.
Yeah.
Jazakallah khair.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, Artab.
Yeah. Walaikum salam.
Yeah, myself Sajid. My native is Vijaypura, but I'm in Bangalore from past more than 20 years.
Good.
It is Allah Subhanahu wa Taala's
Your voice.
postgraduate by profession.
Okay.
But Alhamdulillah, after my graduation, my family, my father thought that I'll be taking care of my forefathers' business, but which didn't well. After a couple of years of my post-graduation, I started my career from a ground level. You can say I'm a totally IT infrastructure, Alhamdulillah, self-made.
Okay.
I've not gone through any training except only online certifications I have taken up my own.
Okay.
I started with my career as a basic computer hardware engineer, peripheral hardware engineer. After that, customer support engineer, server support, so and so, Alhamdulillah. But currently also due to pandemic, I got it back to I'm working at a cloud site. You can understand it is a whole site, industrial factory area, where a client will be having their own server room setup, where this will be a BDC. You can understand, right? The main cloud that they are having a multiple domains, even child domains as well as the primary domains into multiple this one, tied up with Microsoft. Ours is a Azure this one, cloud, Alhamdulillah. So I'm working at a client side, taking care of server, network, firewall, even laptop, desktop, everything you can say. I'm a customer support engineer. So my problem is actually where at site I'm working, there is no any IT manager or anything. I am whole in the soul. But these sites are controlled by HO head office in Noida. Truly speaking, I'm working for a company called Reckitt Benckiser, a product-based company who are into manufacturing of Dettol, Lysol, Harpic, Wheat, etc., 25 plus products. I am working at a factory site. Yeah, the problem is as far as the consulting as well as purchasing, HO doesn't support the individual site. They ask their business team to decide finally. And the problem is the business team, they pressurize me to give me my version since I'm an experienced person. But I'm into dilemma. I'm representing Infosys from third party. Both Infosys and my company says you don't get involved in BA. Alhamdulillah, I have got that knowledge. I can guide the team very correctly. But what happened? This current client is dependent on third-party vendor. So nowadays, a lot of fights between the HO and branch. Like I should be given authorized. Like how you can guide on this?
Coming, another 26 people are waiting. Can you keep your question to the point? What do you want from me?
Okay, no. As a business, how can I be a part of the business team? like asking my team to grow my role. Is there anything you can suggest? Otherwise, I am thinking to change the company since unnecessarily I am put to pressure by the client side, where he want to involve me in the business decision, IT
Your
purchases
question
decision
is
making.
not related to the cloud. Okay. Second thing is, as a senior person, I can advise you, but you can call me on my number 10 to 2. We will discuss.
Yeah, please, brother. Can you just leave me your number, please, to my chat
There on
box,
the slide,
please?
last slide, I will leave it to you. Last slide, it is there, my number. Please call me between 10 to 2 and let's see how we can.
Let to 10 to 2 in
Because you have-
weekend or weekdays, brother.
Weekdays.
Jazakumullah khairan alta, brother. Jazakumullah khairan.
Thank you,
Inshallah.
thank you. Yeah, because
Inshallah.
other people are also waiting. So
No issue. No issue. You can take on. Jazakumullah
thank
khairan.
you.
Inshallah.
Allah Hafiz. Yeah, next, please. Hello. Any questions?
Just one question there. Are you share this PPT or this
Yeah,
recording?
this will be recorded, and there is a site called tinyurl.com, which is usually Dr. Saif will circulate. This is available on the YouTube.
We have I have messaged on the chat box.
Acha,
If you
you
can
have done.
look in. So,
Okay,
this will be recorded in case. Although can we circulate the PPT in the format of a PDF or something?
We can, if you give me your email ID, I will send it to you, because I
Okay.
won't be able to send to all the people.
Sure. I'll get in connect with you.
Or if somebody directly sends me an email ID, I will send it to them. But for you, Sohail, I can give you.
Sure. No, so,
Sohail is
bhai.
the administrator for this session.
sorry.
Saif and Sohail, those are the administrative people.
Sohail bhai will be the administrator for this session, because how can we get, because we registered to the link sent, but we didn't receive any email about this training. So how, going forward, how can we be in contact with you to
You can contact me if you have. I'll drop my number here on the chat box.
Okay.
In case we have any. With me.
Okay, next question.
Questions? I think no one has any questions. Already.
Okay.
I have a last question.
Yeah.
Can someone from mechanical, electrical, civil, those fields can jump onto cloud? Is it possible for them to get into this profession?
Yeah, sure you can, but only thing is you should have proficiency, passion for computers. Whether you're a civil architecture or anything, mechanical. I have friends from mechanical who have done, who have learned SQL and they have become a database administrator. Okay, I have BA graduates who are good in mathematics and other things, science. So they have become database administration by learning simply SQL. Okay, SQL was which is 10, 15 years back also it was there. They have learned, they have become this thing. So some basic languages you should learn, and you should have attitude to learn the languages. And because you see what is happening is the Fortran and the old languages, they were there for 15, 20 years. But now currently languages are not more than 1 year also. They will disappear. You need another, like .NET, C++, CSQL, all these things, like 1 or 2 you should know. Then you, the new languages come, you will be able to do within 15 days. So you learn SQL, I think, if you are a mechanical or a civil engineer, and you will get an opportunities to work in some companies, and you can change the profession.
Okay.
Okay.
Altaf sir, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yeah, this is Atik here. Okay,
Yeah.
my short question is like I'm into this industry from last 15 years, and I have my own product in the market. Like it's
Very
for
good.
basically for freight forwarding and logistic industry. So I have my own product running in it's a mini RP. The
Okay.
problem is, system has been developed on .NET framework, this one
Okay.
.NET platform. It's of course it's like a legacy app, you can call it,
Yeah.
like, which runs on a desktop version.
Mm.
Seeing the trend about the cloud computing, my question is like, now I have a challenge like to redevelop or re-engineer the product completely on the cloud platform.
Mm.
I'm trying several ways. Like recently, I'm putting my hands on Oracle Apex.
Mm.
So someone said like one of my cousin, he's working in Oracle. He said like, why don't you try Oracle Apex, which has a ready. It's like a wizard type. You can
Yeah.
start.
Nowadays,
Design.
you don't have to do coding at all.
Exactly. So the current product is being built a lot of codes and a lot of lines and all these things. So I'm just looking for an easy I cannot call it as a migration, and easily re-engineering the product. Not by spending writing the hundred and thousands of lines. So I was just trying Oracle Apex. So while listening to your presentation, like you said, Oracle is, not that much, in the future, like AWS and GCP is coming up. So I'm a little bit worried about things like, because I have decided
Yes,
to
sir.
go
Okay.
and
I've understood your problem.
yeah.
This is why don't you use the Android app developer?
Android app
Yeah,
developer.
it gives its own database. Okay, and it's nowadays a lot of people are sitting freelance people who are sitting, and you can try to develop in an app, and you can load it in a mobile, and you don't have to do it the hard way, because
Yes.
mobile app is a better one rather than this thing.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Um, if you need somebody's help, I can put you on to somebody. You call me later
Yeah,
next week
sure.
sometime, and we can
Okay.
discuss this thing.
Yeah, definitely. I have taken
Okay.
your number and email. So yeah, I'll get in
Well,
touch with
what
you.
is your name, please?
Atik.
Akib. Okay, no issue. Call me or send me a mail.
Definitely, sir. I'll do that.
Okay.
Jazakallah. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Myself, Abdul Khader, sir.
Yeah.
So I'm basically electrical engineering. I mean, I'm from background of electrical engineering.
Yeah.
But still, I'm working in company from past 3 years.
Mm.
So it is basically not, I can say it like completely IT. It is partially IT. Like, I mean, it is into
Okay.
support only.
Mm.
So like hotel locks will be there, na, RFID card
Mm.
based. So to run that locks, we have application, and the database, it is going to be the SQL.
Mm.
So my experience, I'm telling, like, I mean, just configuring SQL with my software. If any error comes, like services gets off, that's it. I mean, that is the knowledge what I have on SQL.
Mm.
Okay. And actually I have started to, I was trying to switch into IT completely, like into cloud itself. I have even started the course, like, I mean, you might have idea of Naresh IT. So I was thinking, like, I mean, what is the way for me to enter into the cloud directly? I mean,
See, as I told you, yeah.
Yes. No, my question is like, because even that guy didn't told about the OS, because whatever exposure what I have is with the client side operating
Nobody
system.
will tell you. Nobody will tell you. Assume this. Nobody is going to
Okay.
handhold you. If you are interested, you are already in SQL. First, be expert in SQL language. Okay, you should know.
Okay.
You should do 1 or 2 week course on SQL, or you read books. You do hard coding of SQL and write programs in SQL. A lot of ERP programs, lot of programs are written in SQL. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Another thing, actually, operating system is there now. Unix, Linux, they are providing. Okay, operating system. What it exactly means by, because I don't have real exposure on the server side operating system. Okay, so everyone, even in the YouTube videos, also they tell like
You know, the
operating system.
first thing you need to learn is SQL. Then
Okay,
you go
okay,
to the database expert you should become. Fine tuning, performance tuning, server backups, database backups, how they are taken, the logs removing. There are a lot of things in the database. You
okay,
do these two courses first. First, you learn, when you learn SQL, they will teach you on database.
okay,
Once you
okay,
become expert on this, then learn, as I shown in the chart, Linux and Unix, one of these things.
okay.
Then you will get into cloud. Don't worry. Cloud is nothing but, as I explained to you, it's not a different thing. It's the same thing. You do it in on-premise or in a database center, which is run by AWS.
Even though, sir, actually I am at the end of the course, just 2-3 concepts have been, I mean, I was literally preparing for that certification directly.
Which could have certification?
Associate, sir. Cloud architect associate.
Then what happened?
Like, I mean, the main, my question is, I mean, I have made up my mind. I have even started training. It is more than 40 days, I think.
But
So
didn't they tell you to learn SQL?
No, sir, no. They
You
just
should have
have
known.
given Linux for
Because
me.
my
SQL they didn't at
slide
all.
number 21 or 22 is clearly explain what you need to do.
Yes. That's why I'm asking. Like, I mean, they didn't told me about SQL at all. So I was like continuously the course is going on. I'm preparing on daily basis and I'm preparing on the, I mean, for the certification of AWS associate. I mean, next 1 month or 2 months I'm going to give the exam. And my main question was like, I mean, exactly into what role should I apply for? Because the what will happen, I will be falling again into any support role, and there will be no proper career guidelines.
No, but you should become an architecture specialist because see, what you are doing is a one part of the portion, that training what you said.
Okay.
Go through the architecture, whole thing you should understand, because you should understand how hardware LAN 1 works, how the operating systems work, okay, how any applications, like example, the other gentleman asked asking, I have software, I want to change it to the new database.
Yes.
How to switch, okay. So
Yes, sir.
follow that path. I think you should follow that path. You should separately take trainings on SQL.
Okay.
On Unix,
Okay.
either Unix or Linux. Then
Okay.
you should know what is the computer hardware architecture.
Hardware, I have, sir, idea like networking, I have done.
Well, fair enough. If you understand switches, or if you understand
Routing, subnetting, everything I have.
okay. Then you go for once you finish this course, you go for a later architecture course, which covers most of the almost everything.
Sir, please can you come again? What course? Architecture?
Cloud architecture. There is a course.
Okay.
Which
Sir,
I showed it in the simple run, no?
Actually, that I am doing, sir. Actually, I mean S3 computing, S3.
This one, cloud architect course.
Okay.
Here you see course 1, course 2. There architecture fundamentals, architecture technologies of the thing.
In this, they will go deep down into these things only, right?
Yes.
I mean, compute EC2 instances, S3 storage and databases, RDS.
Yeah, they will go through
Route 53 VPC.
If you know all that, then you need not go. No, you just start saying, I am a computer cloud architecture. You apply for jobs, you will get an interview call and you perform there.
So I need to apply for directly for cloud architect only, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, before this, any position is there, sir, in real market?
No. You go get into this
directly. Okay. But I think they will ask for experience, like
hands-on is needed, no?
Okay. I mean, if I can able to clear the certification, so can I face that also, sir?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome.
Jazakumullah.
Next, please. We are running out of time. Sohail might be worried. Any other questions, or you can call me on my number between 10 to 2 weekdays and I will answer. Hona Sohail, we'll close, I think. Hello.
Yeah,
I think it's over now.
thank you, Jazakallah khair, everyone. Yes, we can end it here because it's already we have past 15 minutes now.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. Thank you everyone for joining. If you have any questions related to cloud or something, you can get in connect with Altaf Bhai. And if you need any assistance with regards to MFI and under upcoming sessions, you can get in connect with me. Thank you. Jazakallah.
Thank you, sir.
Jazakallah.
And
Assalamu alaikum.
thank you.
Walaikum salam.
Allah Hafiz.